Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Vlogsters. I'm about to make a video that I don't want to make. I'd like to address a couple of things that were commented in my last video. If you've been around for a while, you know normally I don't address any opposing opinions because I find that they're usually negative. I mean, there are plenty of people who have given me advice, things that I had not thought of, things that I thought of already, and I'm always kind because they've given me advice with kindness. But a lot of this is really crap, and I'm about to call people out and shame them, and hopefully they will get shamed. First, a couple of things that I want to address because it was like a kind of a themey situation. First of all, I applied for a PPP loan, which I can choose whether or not to pay back depending on how I see fit, because that's my business. It's my business. I am an independent contractor. I am also a freelancer, which is an independent contractor. I do have a contract with Google. If you're not a YouTube creator, you wouldn't know this. You can go look it up. It's free information. I get a 1099. The new cycle of PPP loans have finally included people who earn or who receive a 1099. My 1099 that I submitted to the federal government is how I was able to qualify for this loan. Okay? That's one. Two, it is going to be used to support my business. Whether I use it to buy stuff at the Dollar Tree, whether I use it to pay rent on my home office, whether I use it to put gas in my vehicle that I take to go to places to do these things, that is between me and my business, because it's my business. It's not yours. I would also like to say that me knowing that I'm just a little upset, so forgive me. Me knowing that my husband has trouble keeping a job for personal reasons. I know the reasons. He knows the reasons. He has tried to share the reasons from time to time. I have tried to share the reasons from time to time. But really, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. I don't share with you the reasons because that's not part of my life that I want to share with you. I share with you what I share with you because that's what I'm willing to share. That's it. You can speculate all you want, and you can write it in the comments all you want. But there's a couple of things you need to know. This, the vlog channel, and Jeri-Ann Henson, as well as Jim Henson's channel, are ours to do with as we please. We can delete, hide, block anybody, anything at any time for any or no reason whatsoever. Yes, if we disagree with you, or we think you're being harmful or harsh or negative or rude or disruptive or opinionated or disgusting or grotesque, or I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling moody that day. It's my business. It's not yours. It's none of your business. Will I assume that many of you just go around and create a new account and come back? 100%. 100%. Do I know that there are 5 or 6 of you that comment, but 36 of you that like the negative comments? 100%. Does that mean that 21 people are chicken? No. That just means that somebody said something negative, and like many people in the United States of America, jump on the negative bandwagon because they choose to. That's their right. You're 100% you're right. It is also 100% my right to make it disappear. It is. And I've mentioned once, and I'm going to mention it again because apparently it's gotten lost in the translation. I have trouble reading the comments. I wear 4-point magnification. This is how little, stand up straight. This is how little the writing is. This is how little the writing is. You can't make it bigger because it's an app, not a website. What I do from time to time is I screenshot it and then zoom in on it, but that does take really 3 times the amount of time to do it that way. What I do instead is just read when I can, when my eyes don't hurt, or my head doesn't hurt, or when I haven't done lots of work on the computer already. Okay. it was mentioned that the PPP loan is for people who have had businesses affected by COVID-19. I also heard a comment somewhere, and I will call these people out soon. I promise. I'm just going to address the subjects first. A comment that said that I haven't created new content in over a year. That is, excuse my language, bullshit. I stopped creating content when my brother died on September 11th. It's May 1st. That's not even close to a year. That's 3/4 of a year at the most. And it's my business. I've had lots of new content because I have lots of cooking videos up that are new, but just because you're not interested in them, you assume that it's not new content or it's not content that you like. And yes, sometimes there's 3 videos in a week and then not any for 2 weeks because I'm battling depression because I lost my little brother who I raised like a child of my own. And it's depressing. And the antidepressant helps a lot, but it is not a cure-all for everything. And your meanness, and is meanness. Somebody actually just wrote a comment that said people aren't being mean, but nobody had actually said they were being mean. So by you writing that makes me imply that you thought they were being mean. Just saying. Think about what you write. When I come on here and talk to you, it's not scripted. I don't know. Sometimes it's just babbling. Sometimes it just comes out. People said that I was proud that my husband lost his job. I'm not proud that my husband lost his job. I'm not proud that my husband has trouble keeping a job for all of the reasons. But I'm supportive of him. He's my husband. I have encouraged him since we've been together when he's lost a job to get a new one. This is the first time that I felt like somebody had a hand in what was going on timing-wise. That's all. That's all. My channel and the loss of revenue that I have experienced in my channel over the last year has been directly affected by COVID-19. In the beginning of 2020, around March, when the pandemic hit and everybody started staying home, the numbers here in Rollo were very, very low. They were in the single digits. We didn't have our first case until, I want to say June, maybe? It could have been May, but I think it was June. We didn't have our first single solitary case, like not even one case where people had already, hundreds of thousands of people had already died, or 40,000, tens of thousands of people had already died across the country. We didn't even have a single case. So what I was doing was I was continuing to go to the Dollar Tree and shop and haul and do DIYs. And the comments that I got were by many people, not all of them, but by some, and I'd say many, that they can't go to the Dollar Tree and I shouldn't be going out and shopping for things that aren't necessities. And I know that that was hard for them because a lot of people feel trapped and felt trapped. But just because I wasn't, that's how you reflected it as like, I need to be trapped too because you're trapped. I have always and continue to use my sanitizer, don't touch my face, use my mask, use social distancing precautions. I've continued to do that, and I do continue to do that, and I'll do that after I get my shots. I went to pick up groceries at Aldi today at the grocery pickup line, and the lady needed my ID. Actually, she needed Jim's ID, which he left in the car, and I tried to hand it to her through the window, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't have my mask, because Jim forgot his mask. Actually, Jim's mask was dirty. He didn't realize it was a dirty mask he grabbed, so he took my clean one. And she's like, don't worry, I've had my shots. I said, yes, but I haven't. So I'm trying to protect you from passing it on to anyone if I have it. Because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Somebody had mentioned something about fact-checking Jim. Go ahead. You can fact-check him all you want. But you must know that there are fact-checkers out there that aren't all factual. Depending on your news source, depending on the person's views and opinions. They're not all facts. I've had a disagreement a few times about political fact-checking. I went to a bipartisan, excuse me, this is really hot. I went to a nonpartisan website and I got told how it was leftist. And I'm like, well, I don't understand because it's a nonpartisan website. It's just checking the facts. And they're like, oh no, it's opinions. But okay, then we'll have just not talk about that anymore. Well, don't do that. So if you had come to my vlog channel to say all the things that you wanted to say to my husband who might have blocked you, I want you to know that after I've done calling you all out, you'll probably be blocked from my channel too, because there's no reason on God's green earth why you have to spend your time talking shit about me and my life and my family. I share what I want to share with you. I share the positivity that I like to keep in my life. I also share when it's negative. I also share when my heart is broken. I share when I'm happy. I share when I've saved money. I've shared when I've spent money. I've shared when I've cooked crap, and I've shared when I've cooked good food. That's for me to want to do. I want to share with you. And if you're not interested in any of that, you cannot watch my channel anymore. I don't need you. I don't. There are other people out there. As a matter of fact, what I'm finding out is people are not watching my channel because of all of this crap comments below, and they're taking in this negativity. So you're always like, well, she doesn't agree with it and it's negative. If it doesn't agree with her, then she takes it off. Well, no. And I've always said from the beginning, if it affects anyone else, people talked about my weight, my baldness, my teeth falling out. They talked about my health issues and whatever the hell they felt like talking about. And that doesn't bother me. But when I see people out there who comment me or who email me or who direct message me of how seeing somebody like me who looks like them with similar problems on TV, being confident, which I know bothers the hell out of a lot of you, then that makes them feel good. And when you comment crap about me, I'm afraid it's going to affect them. I have been this way my whole life. I have been poor. I've been fat. I've been dirty because that's what I was when I was younger. I've had terrible oral hygiene my whole life. I got my father's teeth in my mother's mouth, which basically my mother's teeth fall out whole. My father's teeth break in there, keep their roots in there. So it's kind of like, I understand that. But it's none of your business. And I just cursed, and I don't care. It's none of your business. It's my business. It's my business. And it's the business of people who I want to share my life with, who are interested. If you are not interested, or you're just interested in giving me your opinion, make your own YouTube channel. You don't even have to show your face. Just get a screensaver and just talk crap into the microphone. But you really have got to do something different than getting on here and talking smack about me. Now, A Blessing in Disguise was the title of the video, because that's the way I chose to look at it. That's the way I chose to look at it. Jim and I were talking about this before we found out about the PPP loan. We were talking about how we wish we could take time off because we want to redo our bedroom, and we want to redo our office, and we want to redo the guest room, and wish we just could afford for him to take time off. But unfortunately, the job that he has does not have vacation pay or vacation time. Now, another thing I would like to address is somebody said he hasn't worked 40-hour job in years. Well, that also is bogus. He got let go from Casey's, which was a 45-hour-a-week job, just in July. Maybe the end of June, but it was right before my birthday. I think it was July, which was 11 months ago, or possibly 10 months ago. It depends on exactly what the date is. And he worked at that job for a year and a half or 18 months or something. He has had full-time jobs plenty of times. Thank you, though, for paying attention to everything. But that's not any of your business. It's not any of your business. Even when I come on here and treat you girls like my girlfriends and just want to complain about my husband for whatever reason, just to get like somebody to be like, I'm not you, Jeri, you're not the only crazy person. My husband's like that too. It's still not your business. You can give me advice and I'll read your advice, and I may take your advice. I may not take your advice. Hell, I don't even take my husband's advice all the time, and that really gets under his skin. Because just because you have advice or think you have a better way for me to live my life, that doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't. There is only one person on this planet that I have got to answer to, and that is that chick that looks back at me in the mirror every single day. As long as she knows she's doing everything she can to the best of her ability, honestly, fairly, and accurately, that's all that matters. Now, as a joke, I called my friend a benefactor because she was so kind to give me these things that she refuses to not send me. But that's between me and her because it's none of your business. But I want to thank her. She watches my videos and I want her to know how appreciative I am. She has really helped me during these rough times. I don't rely on it. But because I'm blessed that way, I get to be able to use my money in other ways. I don't DIY as much as I used to because my heart is not creative. But I DIY'd all through 2020 up until September. And then I even did 2 the rest of the year because I made pumpkins or actually more than that. But that's none of your business. It's my business. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. You don't have to watch. There is 100,000 different channels on YouTube. Go watch somebody else. Enough. So on my shame list, we're going to have a few people on my shame list. The first person I'm going to call out before they get blocked. I'm going to start at the bottom because, older videos, older comments, like first comments. That's how it's listed here. Let's see. First thing I would like to say is I don't watch my husband's videos. I don't care if you believe it. I really don't give a rat's rumpus. I don't. I did when he worked, when he was at Casey's and he worked like 9-hour days and I missed him. I sometimes would put his videos on just to hear his voice. But to be honest with you, we don't share the same opinions of things. I don't agree with his social graces. And it sometimes frustrates me to watch. So no, I don't. And you can believe me or don't believe me. I don't give two, like I said, don't give two rats rumpuses. Okay, so first one is Mr. Smart, which I have to believe is 100% a bullshit name. Mr. Smart says, I really won't call it a blessing that Jim can't keep a job. I never called it a blessing that Jim can't keep a job. And yes, he mentioned first and last names of employers, and he still doesn't remember. So we have to go back and watch videos. But since people have mentioned names in the comments, I'm assuming that, yes, he must have mentioned first and last names of people. But here's what I want you to know. Without a employee handbook or employee contract that specifically states what you can and cannot say about your job, I'm from New York and that would not fly. You have to have an employee handbook that says you're not allowed to talk about your job on social media, then you won't, then you can't, and that's the end of it. They have then grounds to fire you. Here's a right to work state. They don't like his new haircut. They could fire him for that. And that's totally 100% right. They don't like the fact that he's got a fat wife. That's a total reason they can fire you. I want you to know that. Okay? I thank Karen very much. Karen, who came to the defense of Jim and a lot of these, saying that what was slander, what was not slander. If something is true, then it's not slander. If it's disparaging, like all of these different things, regardless. It doesn't make a difference. It's over. He's turned in his uniforms. He's filed for unemployment. Whether or not he gets it, again, his business, my business, not your business. It really isn't. Phyllis Perry said, you tried to tell him and he ignores you or deletes your comments. Yes. Because just because you tell somebody something, that does not mean they have to listen to you. If Jim wants his channel to be like a digest and to be like just a vent session, that he puts out in public, I don't care. That's his right. That's his right as an American. You guys always talk about rights as an American. That's his right as an American. He can complain all he wants. Complain all he wants. And if he knows the consequences, he'll suffer the consequences. Be gone. That's it. And if he has terrible social issues that get him fired every 5 seconds, I will support him because he's my husband. And if it happens to happen at a time where I get some money for my job or a big paycheck at YouTube, what if it would have happened if it was a big paycheck? Would you still all be on that? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't give two craps. Listen, we have never had the standard roles in our marriage. He's never been the breadwinner. He's got a lot of issues, personal issues, social issues that he's been working on since I met him. He has improved tremendously, but still has a far way to go. He's my husband, and I love him more than anything except the man above. And I'm going to continue to support him whatever way I can. And if I want to look at it as whatever positiveness I can, that's for me to do. I don't care if it's a sliver of silver lining in a big old gray, cloudy, crappy day. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to find it. Opal says he deletes his comments that isn't praiseworthy. Same as she does. Or she does it for him. No, I don't do anything to his comments. I don't even have the eye strength and energy to read my own comments. You're over here saying how I don't read the comments. And then you're like, maybe she deletes his comments. What the heck? I would use, you should use that gray matter. Thanks. Why do they call it gray matter when it's sort of pink? I don't know. But anyway, they both find not having a way to make a constant living a blessing. No, I don't. I actually come from a long line of warriors about finances. My father was a staunch, get a job as soon as you let go from your last job, when you couldn't even be home from work for 10 minutes, where he's like, get on the want ads. So no, one of the reasons I don't sell everything I own and buy an RV and move across the country is because I worry about that stuff. Okay, but because I choose to have faith in God and his plan that I'm listening to, possibly right now, that's what I'm doing. That's my choice, and it's my business, and it's not your business, so you can just take it along. Thank you. Okay. Oh, they can exist in the hoard of a house. Now, once again, my fucking house, my fucking business. I can do what I want. My house, my business. I can keep what I want in my house. I can do what I want in my house. It ain't your house. It ain't your business. Who's to say I won't come to your house and think it's gross and disgusting? Everybody has their own opinions. Okay. So he'll play video games and she'll make coffee and maybe food and make a video every 2 weeks saying that she couldn't possibly do more. Again, none of your business. One thing I would like to touch on since my brothers passed away is I have been finding out by talking to my other YouTube creator friends, as well as doing some research into YouTube creating. Me doing daily videos has always hurt my channel's growth. I never cared. I loved talking to you guys every day. I love teaching you something new every day. And if I choose to go to be once a week creator, that is my choice. That is my decision. If I want to go to be a creator once every 2 weeks, my choice, my decision. If I want to share with you something that I learned a year ago, my choice, my decision. If I want to repost a video that I did 3 years ago, my choice, my decision. Enough. Chicago gal. Opal, I agree with you. Per Jim's vlog, they now plan to rent a storage unit. More money out the door to rent storage space instead of facing the challenge of purging and selling items to make money. Without their benefactor and stimulus and PPP money, that would not have
they would not have the money to fund their lifestyle and low energy. It is likely that in retirement, they will rely on benefactors and government programs funded for those of us who pay taxes. First of all, I pay taxes. I have to pay taxes. I get a 1099. I don't know what the heck. You people just sound idiotic. You just sound idiotic. I have worked in a business since I'm 16 years old. That's the legal age you could start working in New York for full or part-time. You can work sort of as 15, working like 2 days a week for 4 hours a day. But at 16, that's when you start working. I've been paying taxes since I'm 16 years old until the last job that I had outside of the home was in February of 2016. Then I started YouTube in December of 2016, so I didn't pay taxes from February till February of the following year when I started earning money on YouTube. So 1 year, 2016, I did not earn money and I did not pay taxes. So I'm entitled to whatever government programs. I paid into Social Security, probably more than you did, or maybe not. I don't know who you are. That's regardless. Okay. Without their oh, we did that already. Okay. Those of us who pay taxes, right? Fungal, right? Okay. Chicago gal, PPE, by the way, you know, Opal, you don't sound very smart. PPE is personal protection equipment. That's like your mask and your sanitizer and face shields. PPP stands for Payroll Protection Plan. And just so you know, as an independent contractor, freelancer, I have a payroll. It is just me. It was me and Emily when she was working for me, but it is just me. But I am entitled to get paid, just like if I owned a bakery and nobody was coming in to buy my food. It's what it's about. The PPE was meant to pay rent for small businesses unable to stay open, as well as paychecks for their employees unable to work. No, that's not. But thank you. But thank you for your input. But not to buy more space for junk you'll never do with anything with. Okay, I would like to address the storage unit situation. As many of you know, if you've been around for a while, we need a new shed, only because we have a shed. A storage shed was on the property when we bought the house. We don't have a closed-in garage. We have one utility closet that's half taken up with like a hot water heater and gardening shelves that were in there already. Could I take the gardening shelves out? Yes. And it's not half taken out, but it's that left side of the door. My Christmas decor is in there, as well as some of my landscaping stuff and that. The shed that I own, or that was on the property, is broken, is falling down, and the floor is rotten, and it was that way when we moved in. We keep our outdoor decor in that shed because I feel like it can't get any ruined. It's outdoor decor. So we don't have storage on my side of the house. We have the closet in the office, which you guys have seen me make over. We have the closet in our bedroom, which you guys have seen me purge before if you've watched my channel for a long time. We have the guest room that doesn't have a closet. It has an armoire with no drawers. It just has for hang-up storage. And we have the dining room that doesn't even have a closet, because the dining room and guest room used to be one giant room before the previous owners broke it into 2 rooms. We also have a front closet, which isn't laid out properly. It is a long closet with a door all the way on the left. So to hang something all the way on the right, you actually have to try to walk yourself in the closet. But we put winter coats in there, and we have all our board games stored, as well as the like insulated carriers for food that Mom uses. Mom has Temptations with insulated carriers. We keep them up there. That's it. That's all the storage. That's all the storage that I have in all of this. And do I have too much stuff? For you, obviously, because you keep mentioning it. But for me, no. And do we focus on what I've purged or what I still have to purge? Again, my business, not yours. It's my business, not yours. Do I ever come on here and complain that, oh my God, I have too much stuff, I have to just get rid of it all? No. No. I come on here and tell you what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to purge my stuff. This is how we've been purging our stuff. And who said we weren't going to have a garage sale and sell it? That was our plan. Okay. Let's see. Space, thanks for anything. Oh, by the way, the storage here, and I'll tell you, because when we were in New York, we also didn't have any, we also didn't have any storage. In New York, we had a 2-family house with a crawl space that flooded and an attic that was above my brother's apartment, and we didn't have any storage. We didn't have a garage. Our utility room held the washer and dryer and hot water heater and boiler, so there was no room for storage in there. We had a shed that my father built onto behind the utility room that held like the Christmas decorations for outside, all the outside decor. So in my home, which is why I learned to do all of this storage conveniently, because I lived in such a small home with 1,000 million trillion people my whole life. It's what you do. You do what you got to do. We had a storage facility there. After Jim and I got married, we thought we were going to buy our own home, and my father said, please don't leave me. That's fine. But we had all our stuff for our wedding. We basically had double kitchen, everything. So we knew eventually my dad was really not a good change person. He didn't really like change. But I knew all of the things that I had gotten from my kitchen. Some of the things were a lot better than he had had. So eventually it was going to be coming in and in and in. Now, when we got the apartment at the group home, that job, we were able to put a bunch of kitchen stuff in there. Then when my father got sick and I had to move home, I had to get a storage facility. The storage facility that I had there was 7 by 10, and it was $200 a month. Now, I was making a lot more money then, so it was okay. The storage facility here is 10 by 10, and it's $25 a month. If you guys are interested, I'll link the channel. No, I will tell you the storage facility. You can go call yourself. That being said, we weren't going to get a storage facility to store our stuff. We were going to get a storage facility to put the stuff while we redo our rooms. How am I pulling up a carpet when I have 2 dressers and a king-size bed in the middle of the room? That kind of stuff. So we were just talking about getting a storage facility while we were doing the switchover of all the furniture. When we get our shed eventually, we'll put more permanent storage in there. We'll be able to get the stuff out of the utility room that's being stored there now, like the holiday decorations, and we'll be able to use the utility room to store the party wear as well as Jim's tool bench. Not that it's any of anybody's business. Okay. And you guys don't know what I use. She said here, one of the people said here that she'll never use. You don't know what I use. I don't invite you into 24 hours, 7 days a week of my life. You don't know what I use. So remember that before you start talking. Let's see. The pandemic is not over, and wasn't she too afraid to do anything but grocery pickup because of anxiety about COVID? But Jim says they were going to travel to get rid of stress. Yes, whatever. No, I didn't do grocery pickup because I was afraid of COVID. I did grocery pickup because my body was getting more and more tired every year. I actually started grocery pickup before COVID. I just encouraged people to use it while we had COVID. I've gone into the Dollar Tree. I've gone into the Christmas tree shops. I've gone into Aldi. I've gone into Walmart. I don't share everything with you. You make a lot of presumptions. And no, I was never anxious about COVID. Did I like that people didn't wear their masks? No. I don't like living in a place where I'm a blueberry and a cherry pie and the people just think that this is all fake and they'll do whatever they want and they have their American rights to do whatever they want, and that's fine. I don't like it. I try to keep social distance from them. It's not always easy because you turn around, all of a sudden somebody's breathing down your neck. But no, I never didn't go into the store because I was anxious. Just to let you know about that real quick. That's ridiculous. Phyllis Perry says, that's ridiculous. Come on now. A storage unit. Get rid of the broken down furniture. So, Phyllis, I'm not really 100% sure what broken down furniture you think I have. I have 2 nightstands in my bedroom that I've had since 2006. They were dressers in my apartment in 2006. And the thing that separates the 2 drawers broke. And I had fixed it once, but it has since broke again. But nobody uses it. That's where I store all my emergency supplies. For like, that's the hurricane room, you know, the tornado room. They should say that here it's a tornado room. That's the tornado room. So that's where like the candles and batteries and all that stuff is. We found a new nightstand, and I have a table that's going to create the new space there. And we're going to give away or sell the one dresser. And then we're going to take the other dresser and use it to store the printer. Jim's computer desk out in the living room. He has no place to put his feet because the printer is there sideways and it's very difficult to print on. But that, again, my business, not yours. So I don't have any broken down furniture, so I'm not really sure 100% what you mean. But thank you for asking. Let's see. Oh, the glassware that you never use. Again, you have no idea what I use or don't use, so I don't even know what you get your mouth from, so whatever. Let's see. Chicago gal comes back and says, Opal, again, I'm total agreement with you. Also, they have taken several out-of-state trips during the COVID times. That is one that I definitely want to address. I'm not really sure what several means to you. To me, several always meant 5 or more. To me, it was always a couple, a few, and then several. It was always like 5 or more. That being said, in June, I took Mom and Jim to graduation in Ohio. Like I mentioned before, we had 1 or 2 cases here, and they had 4 or 5 cases there where they lived. It's only a 10-hour trip. We used social distancing whenever we went to the bathroom. We used PPE equipment. We always sanitized our hands. We packed food. We ate along the way so we wouldn't have to stop and get food. We packed a cooler with sodas and stuff like that. We went to Ohio. Everybody there was very precautious. The people who were at the graduation, some wore masks. Some came with their test results, their negative test results. Anybody who was sick or found sick, because the people we went to go see, one of the parents is a nurse, so she was very stringent about who was to come and who was to stay home. That being said, and that was at the beginning of the pandemic. That being said, the second trip that I took, I really wish I didn't have to take. My brother died, and I went to his funeral in New York. When you travel to New York after, I think it started in July, you have to register with the state of New York Health Department. And I had gotten a text message and or phone call, which really, I had gotten phone calls every day. Jimmy had gotten text messages every day from the New York State Department of Health checking that we were still keeping social distancing, only keeping within immediate family circles, and we're like feverless and no symptoms or signs or symptoms or any of that stuff. Would I have rather stayed home? Yeah, gosh darn right I would have. You're insensitive people. And finally, the last trip that I was taken to, that I went on, was because I was so depressed because I lost my brother. Lisa took me to see her sister, who had also just recently lost her husband. And then she took me back to her house, and then I came home. And that was it. That's my several trips. Were 3 trips in the course of 6 months. And 2 of them, I would rather have not had to go on, to be honest with you. And if Mom didn't go to wanted to go to the graduation, I don't know that I might have not have gone to the graduation either. As much as I love my family there, and they know that, Sydney, if you're watching, you know I love you. But if Mom didn't want to go, I probably would have just sent you a card and money and looked at pictures on Instagram. So that being said, again, hate on the person who's not stuck in a freaking box because you're stuck in a freaking box, or whatever it is. That's fine. Okay. Opal says to Chicago gal, that's also true. Forgot about that. She has anxiety about COVID, and it's convenient when it will give her a fraudulent PPE loan. Again, it's not a PPE loan, it's a PPP loan. It's not fraudulent because I am under the purview of people who are qualified. They wouldn't have given it to me if I wasn't qualified. Let's just put it that way. But besides that, I'm not really sure, again, why everybody thinks I'm so anxious about COVID-19. I don't have COVID-19 anxieties. I was upset about COVID-19 when it killed my brother. He died alone. He may have been in pain. Nobody knows. I don't know if you think that's why I have anxieties. I'm not sure. Kathy Thomasy says, oh, I agree. Less an angry little man. Oh, he's an angry little man. I'm not really sure if I guess they're speaking about my husband because she didn't say who she agrees with. Okay. Jules Jones says, it's frustrating to see the excuses. Jeri has traveled extensively. So not only was it several, but now it's extensively. During COVID and going on vacation because of PPE money, but can't do in a grocery store to shop for food. Maybe they should get vaccinated so they feel safe. No pressure, their body, their choice. But just saying, I am going to get vaccinated. I have no problem with getting vaccinated. I only didn't get vaccinated before because when they first came out with rounds here in Phelps County, they only had 2 days. They had a day for shot 1 and they had a day for shot for shot 2. And I couldn't go to shot Tuesday because I had a conflicting schedule for that day. So I didn't get it already the same time Mom got it. They are now giving shots at Walmart. We have made an appointment or not. My business, not yours. And again, I'm not anxious about COVID, and I have never been anxious about COVID. Dr. Mike says, stay alert, not anxious, just so you know. Okie dokie. Next, let's deal with this bunch of bull-oni. Okay, this is, somebody suggested that I watch Jim's video. He does mention that his employees' names, and that's fine. I said I didn't know. He told me he didn't remember, and he still doesn't remember. And that's fine. Did he block it out? I don't know. I don't care. That's fine. He could have very well. I believed he did, so it's no big deal. And she talks about more people and about somebody saying something. Opal says, I had a feeling this was carefully crafted to say she wasn't in the know. And that's in quotation marks. In case something happens further from these videos. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. But anyway. Erin Anderson says, unfortunately, Jeri has been misled. I can't speak why he would, but I do assure you he was far too liberal in how he spoke about his coworkers and his experiences at Dickey's. That's fine. But again, that's his channel. He's to do with as he pleases. I don't say that I was surprised that he lost his job. I didn't say that. I said he was. Regardless, that's not the point. His business. Okay. So it seems that Karen has removed her comments. But Karen was standing up for Jim and I. And I don't blame... Oh, here's Karen. Okay, I was going to say, I don't blame her if she did because people are just, like, mean. Let's see. She didn't know where her comment was. She was trying to edit it, but she thinks she deleted it. Oh, but she will have to watch the videos or choose to continue to claim she doesn't know. Why? Why? Why can't I be ignorant? Why can't I say I don't know because I haven't watched the videos? What does that make a difference? Why is that bothering you? Why does it bother you how I spend my time? Why does it bother you whether or not I believe my husband? Or take what he says the way I take what he says? Why does it bother you? Does it really affect your life? Do you get up out of bed every morning, fall down because I have believed my husband when he's lied to me? Does that really affect your life? Are you having trouble swallowing your breakfast because I may choose to believe my husband than to go prove him wrong? Does that really affect your life that much? Are you forgetting to take your medication because I decide to have this relationship with my husband and share it with people on YouTube? It bothers you that much? Maybe you should just watch someone else's channel then. I mean, if it really is going to affect you that much, probably shouldn't be watching. I don't watch the news because it affects me that much, so I just don't watch the news. I mean, television. American news television. Okay. Thank you, Karen, again, for being so sweet and kind. Your comments will most likely get deleted with the whole thread of comments, because once you delete the top comment, the rest of them go away. That's why I'm calling them all out right now, because, but thank you. I appreciate your love. And then Opal jumps on Karen. If you don't like what he said about the capabilities of his manager while naming them by first and last name, as well as threatening to expose Dickies, isn't slanderous. It's not slanderous. Slander is when you make up something. If you say the facts, if you say even your opinion is your opinion. If you say that they've done something that they haven't done, or you're using your anger at them to ruin their reputation, that's different. But the fact that he has an opinion about something and he stated it, or something he's seen and he stated it, he knows, and he knows that it was a potential for him to lose the job. Nobody's surprised. But that's not the point. The point of my video is not that I'm surprised that my husband lost his job. My point of my video is not that I'm disappointed that he lost his job. My point of my video was not that I am grateful that I got PPP money because I really didn't want him to work anymore anyway. The point of my video was a shit thing happened, but God had my back. And a lot of you got that, but some of you didn't. And again, my business. Karen mentioned something about me not responding to my comments. And then Opal calls out that it's called notifications. You don't have to check all day, just wait for the comments. No. First of all, unless you're a YouTube creator with 60,000 followers plus over 2 channels, shut your mouth, because you have no idea what you're talking about. I have the notifications turned off on my YouTube comment section because my phone didn't stop. And when it's crap like this, where you all jumping on the bandwagon of somebody's hate, and yet it's hate, because none of this is necessary. It doesn't make anybody's life better. And this is slanderous. When you say that I am fraudulent and I'm defrauding the government and I'm lying about X, Y, and Z, that's slanderous. Because it's not true. None of it's true. Okay. Anyhow, back to it. I don't have my notifications on for comments because it was incessantly dinging and I can't. And I have trouble reading them on most times, most days. It's why sometimes it's 2 or 3 days before I can get a video's comments read and liked and sorted out or whatever. One of the reasons that I delete hateful things like this, or whatever, disagreements, whatever you want to call them, is because basically Karen has come and said that she doesn't agree with you, which is kind of funny. So you guys get on me that if I delete a comment because I don't agree with you. But when someone gets in the comments and you don't agree with them, you get on them like they're a $10 horse. And you beat on them until what, they agree with you, or you got your stuff out. Like, what is the point? What is the point? Because you're a hater, and as long as everybody else is, you can hate on as many people as you want. You really have got to do some internal looks at yourself Figure out what is going on in your life that makes you want to come on here and give your 2 unwanted cents to people about their lives. Oh, Karen, read the room. This is what Opal says. Read the room? Yes, I will read the room. I will 100% read the room. You know what? We're going to go back to the beginning of the video, and we're going to see that there are 1,099 comments, and 50 of them are negative. I'm sorry, there's 1,099 views. I take that back. There's 76 comments, and 25 of them are negative. So you read the room. You read the room. I'm reaching out to some people. Again, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You want to be there, tell everybody that I should listen to you and your opinion because you disagree with me, but you can't listen to anybody else's opinion. What the is that about? Any ideas? Back to it. Back to it. Okay. Karen asked if Opal had a law degree because she's over there saying what it is and is not slander, what is and is not the law, and they ask each other, do they each one of them have a law degree? You don't need a law degree to look up the law. Just saying. You don't need a law degree to look up definitions of stuff. I'm just saying. Okay. Another kind comment, another kind comment, another kind comment. Okay. Now Opal, she writes a book. Because apparently all of the comments she put in other people's comments were not good enough. I will be deleted by her or him, I'm sure. So here's the thing. If somebody says to you, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but don't say it. If you know it's going to be received or has a chance that it's going to be received poorly, then don't say it. If somebody can't change it in 5 seconds, shut your mouth. You got spinach in your teeth? Yes, definitely. You need to lose some weight? Shut your mouth. None of your business. I don't like your clothes? Shut your mouth. None of your business. I don't like the way you wear your hair? Shut your mouth. None of your business. You have a piece of gum in your hair? Go ahead, tell somebody. If they can't change it in 5 seconds, shut your mouth. None of your business. Just remember it. So she says that it will be deleted. My comment, she keeps calling it a PPE loan, which again, she sounds like not really a very smart person because it's a PPP loan. PPE, again, is your mask and all that stuff. It's used to keep small businesses afloat with employees at risk of losing their jobs because of COVID. No, it's not. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons, but it is not all of the reasons. And I would like to tell you something. It's a side note. I just got an email from my, basically the proxy that I use to fill out my application. And he said $4.3 billion are still left in this round of PPP loans. So make sure you tell your other friends who are in the same type of business as you that they can come and apply for a loan. The worst thing that they'll get is a no. Because it's SBA. When SBA runs your credit or whatever it is, it doesn't go on your credit report. It's because it's a small business association loan. So I just wanted to let you know. Nobody else is getting turned down for not having enough money in the PPP. People are getting turned down because they don't deserve to have a PPP or they don't fall under any of the categories that require, that the government requires for you to get a PPP. Just want to let you know, okay? She still goes on to say Jim wasn't laid off. Nobody said Jim was laid off. I said he was let go. There's a difference. Huge difference. Nobody said Jim was laid off. And anybody can apply for unemployment anytime, anywhere. Worst thing you do is get turned down. That's it. A lot of times it's good to apply for unemployment even when you're going to get turned down, because then your business, the business that you worked for, gets notified that you applied for unemployment, and maybe they realize how important the job was to you. Or maybe they realize they'll take a second look at what happened. And sometimes that's all it takes. And he's worked with people over the course of the last 10 months that have 3 different people that I can tell you about that have been fired and brought back on because they just complained about getting fired. So I just want to let you know, sometimes it does make a difference. Again, he was fired for putting personal people's names and stuff on the YouTube channel. Again, being a right to work state, that's what they said the reason was. It doesn't have to be that reason. It could be whatever they want. It doesn't make a difference. The fact that he didn't sign a contract, if this was not a right to work state and he didn't get any training and the information to prevent this from happening, they can't fire you. So let's put it this way. If your company, if you work in a non-right to work state, like I worked in New York, if the company did not make you sign something that specifically taught you or that you signed into a training that you were in that said how to manage your social media persona as far as your business is concerned on social media, they can't fire you for doing so. They have to basically say it's against the company policy. They have to show you the policy. You have to make sure that they've read the policy. I know, because I was a house manager, and that's what we had to do. We had to make sure everybody got their employee handbook. I signed it. You said you want to read it first and then come sign that you read it. You can. If you would like to just sign that I gave it to you, you can do that too. Read it at your leisure. But, you know, anything, make sure that you read it, because anything that's in there. When I first started working for AHRC, I would call out so much stuff and people would be like, where did you learn this from? I'm like, it's in the employee handbook. It's like page 37, chapter 8, section 2.1. I'm like, I read it. I mean, I looked, and I carried the employee handbook in my work bag. So it was always with me. Just to let you know. So if you work in a state that's not a right to work state, they can fire you for whatever you want. They can fire you for being gay here. You can get fired for being trans. You can get fired for being divorced. You can get fired for being brown-eyed. They don't have to give you a reason. Could they get sued for discrimination? Yeah. Will it go anywhere? Probably not, because it's the right to work state. However, you can still try. But if you work in a state that is not a right to work state, they cannot fire you for what you say on social media about your job unless they've specifically told you you cannot. Jim got let go from his last job because of something they never trained him about. But it didn't make a difference because it's a right to work state. One of the things the guy said when he let him go was, oh, we have to fire everybody every time this happens. Oh, so this has happened before. This isn't a one-shot deal. You knew this might happen and you didn't warn anybody. Hey, by the way, if such and such happens, be prepared. Just letting you know. Okay, laid off, closing procedures, whatever. The reason to get let go, especially the right to work state, when you want to admit or not, you can FEIGN. You can feign not knowing. I guess that's a word. I don't know that word, so I'm just going to pretend like you mistyped it. I don't really know. You can feign not knowing. What she said was avoid possible legal repercussions from what happened, but no one is going to believe that. I don't care. I really don't care what you believe. Again, the only person I have to talk to, I have to follow, I have to listen to is the girl who talks to me in the mirror. I don't care what you believe. You can believe in UFOs. I don't care. You can believe in fairies. I don't care. It ain't my business. Let's see. But no one is going to believe that. I hope unemployment is denied along with his suggested disability. Now, with his intentions of not returning to work at all, jobs are difficult for everyone. Time for you two to get real ones. Okay. First of all, I'm not going to say it. Opal, do me a favor. Shut up. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You sound like an idiot. You really do. What is your idea of a real job? I'm waiting. What's your idea of a real job? Job that I did before? I used to shower people. I changed 20 diapers a day. Give people medication, work at the grocery store, packing bags. What's your definition of a real job? Tell me. I would love to know. My job is difficult. Is it as difficult as construction work? No. But you know what? Neither is the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. His job isn't as difficult as construction work either. That's not the point. I don't complain about my job. I have a real job. And I know that I'm only going to get out of my job what I put into my job. I know that. And it's a crappy thing that's happened to the world, 100%. It's a crappy thing that continues to still happen to the world, 100%. But you're not making anybody's life better. You're not even making your own life better. I'm sure Opal is a great real name. I love how people don't put their last names in there, but she does have a picture. I mean, at least it's not just a letter. Let's see. They seem to believe a PPP loan. This is Baseball Nan 55. They seem to believe that PPP loan was free money, but it was received under false circumstances. The business was not affected by COVID at all. It was affected by her depression, which came from COVID, silly. And by the way, people's jobs being affected by COVID didn't mean that they had to have had COVID or that they were shut down because their customers had COVID or their employees had COVID. It just means to me that their job got hurt because of COVID in any capacity. My job got hurt because of COVID last year because people couldn't go to the Dollar Tree every time I showed them things that were new at the Dollar Tree. And my business got hurt by COVID because people couldn't go out and buy the supplies that I was making crafts of during COVID. And then my job got affected by my depression because my brother died because of COVID. If you really want to take the fucking leap, let's take the leap. She got that PPE loan. Again, it's not a PPE loan, it's a PPP loan. Who could have gone to someone else's business, was truly affected by COVID. Again, I won't explain again that mine was, but thank you. Thank you for your concern and care. I really do appreciate it. And now they have plans to use that money, according to Jim, for things other than business. Okay. Mostly to carry them through the time Jim is out of work. Okay, so again, just want to touch base one more time. PPP stands for Payroll Protection Plan. I am an independent contractor and freelancer. I get a 1099 from Google. Out of the 1099 that I get every year and the pay that I get once a month, I am entitled to payroll. I calculate the amount of time that I spend at work. I have a little book. You guys should try it. It's really amazing. I have to keep these records correct because I have to do my taxes at the end of the year. I have to keep a record of my car travel whenever I travel for work. I have to keep a car log of whenever I travel for work. I have to keep a supplies log. I have to keep receipts from the stores. I have to keep all of this stuff because I do my own taxes. And this is what's required when you own your own business. Yes, I own my own business. Including my payroll. So the payroll protection plan is to cover my payroll, and when I get paid from the payroll protection plan, I can do whatever I want with it. As long as I can prove that the loan went to rent on my workspace and or payroll and or business supplies, then I don't have to pay it back because that's the stipulation of the PPP loan. Otherwise, it's a 1% loan that I am required to pay back. So you guys, it's not free money. I haven't even decided if I want to submit paperwork to not have to pay it back. That is up to me. That is between me and my business manager, who is me, and between me and God and the SBA, and not you. Not you. None of your business. But whatever I do with my payroll is my right. It's my right. I don't tell you how to spend your pay. Don't tell me how to spend my pay. And as I mentioned before, this isn't coming out of anybody's mouth because there's still $4.3 billion out there for people to use. By the way, it's a really small amount of money. Jimmy just makes really low pay. That's all. Just wanted to let you know that. Perhaps do a bit of traveling. A bit of traveling? Where am I going? Where am I going? We talked about taking a weekend, him and I. We never got to celebrate our anniversary last year. I forgot. I did actually go back with Lisa to Texas. So that's 4 trips. That maybe that you count 4 as several. I still count it as a few, but okay. You're right. I'm sorry. But we really never got to celebrate our anniversary because everything was shut down. And we talked about possibly, and Valentine's Day too, so we talked about possibly getting a hotel room for a weekend and just staying in away from the smoke-free environment for 48 hours. Oh, well, actually, it's not even 48 hours because check-ins after 3, checkouts at 11. So, like, for 2 nights. But anyway, that's what the big traveling was. I think we were thinking about the Hampton Inn here in Rolla. But, you know, you guys make up your own story. That's fine. Let's see. I am sorry, though. I do truly forget about going in August. When Lisa was here for my birthday and I drove her to Texas in August and I stayed there, I did forget about that trip, honestly. So I do apologize for that 4 trips that I had. Let's see. Okay, so then also Baseball 55 says we both need to get jobs and deal with life. Okay, thanks. He also said, Opal 1 comes back to Baseball 55 and says he also said they can pay back at their leisure. I don't know why he said that, but okay. And that it's only 1%. Yes, that's true. It is only 1%. He makes up facts a lot to seem as if he's knowledgeable and deletes comments from him. Otherwise, they both just come off as ignorant and manipulative. She was 100% not affected by COVID. And again, up your, you know what, because yes, I was, and should have been denied that loan. Okay. Once again, I'm not going through it again, but I will just tell you, you've heard it before. My career, my life, my everything has been affected by COVID since COVID started, but really since my brother passed away from COVID. But thank you, though. I do appreciate all your kindness and consideration. By the way, it's 1% interest. We don't have to pay back 1% of the amount of money borrowed. It's 1% interest per year is what the loan is whenever you borrow money from the SBA, especially during the PPP. Okay? I know I explained that a few minutes ago, but I just wanted to clarify. And he is right. We can pay it back at our leisure because we have 1 year to start paying it back, but we can pay it back right away if we want to, if we're able to, or whatever. So just to give you an idea of what it is, okay? Again, you can just research all this. This is all on the World Wide Webs, okay? Just make sure you check the latest PPP because like I mentioned in my video that I guess a lot of people just heard what they wanted to hear. The PPP, the original PPP from like last year, there was 2 of them, I believe, that came out the same time as the stimulus money. Those weren't for people who make a 1099. I wasn't qualified to get the loans back then. Those were just for people who had, I think, 4 or more employees. I think it was 4 or more employees. But I'm not 100% sure of those facts. But those what I was not qualified for. It's only this particular round that President Biden put out. This PPP loan I do qualify. I am an employee of my company and I am entitled to my payroll as well. So thank you. Just because you don't see content and videos doesn't mean I'm not working. Just so you know. Okay? Okay. Jim doesn't know what loose lips sink ships means. Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smart. Let's see. This is happening to me. This is appalling to me. I almost lost my son and daughter-in-law to COVID and complications. They are still recovering and have to jump through hoops to medical coverage, home health aides, Medicaid and Medicare, and unemployment. This is atrocious. This is atrocious is right. Shameful, shameful as well. God had nothing to do with this. This is fraud and they know better. So that's from Grammy M. Grammy M, no, it's not fraud. It's not shameful. I did it all legally and legitimately, and I've explained that all already. And once again, your son and daughter-in-law are struggling with the leftover parts of COVID-19, but my brother died. He's dead. He will not live to be 40. He was 38 years old, and he died. And it has affected me, and it has affected my business. The fact that I'm dealing with it, the way that I'm dealing with it, again, my business, not yours. You're allowed to have your opinion. But when you come on here, and this is slander, because you're saying that it's fraud when it's not, and you're trying to ruin my reputation with slander, all of these comments, where it's not true. You're just making stuff up that you think you know. You think you know, so you decided to just make stuff up or say it because you think you know what you're talking about and you think you know you're right, but you're not. None of this is true. And the fact that you're saying it to make me look bad and to make the channel look bad and to make Jim look bad is the slanderous part. And this is why you'll all be deleted and blocked from my channels from now on. Both of them, by the way. So even if you only subscribe to the vlog channel, I don't care. If you only comment like this on the vlog channel, I don't care. You will not be allowed to comment on my main channel either. So just so you know that. That's why I'm calling everybody out now, because people say I won't share and I won't listen and I won't read the comments. I've read them all. I'm sharing them. I'm shaming on all of you because I think you all should be shamed on, in all fairness. Grandma Emmy, it's absolutely fraud. It absolutely is not. She can pretend it's not. Call herself an independent contractor. When YouTube TOS officially indicates that not to be the case, but I know this is investigated. She alleges to getting more than one as well. She alludes to getting more than one as well. Yes, I don't get more than one loan. It's one loan, but they call it 2 drawers. So you basically get draw half of it, and then in 2 weeks or a month, depending on your schedule, you draw the second half. So it's one loan. It's broken up and it's separated into 2. Again, you can find this all information out on the World Wide Web for yourself. Again, you don't have to come here and say, but I'm not getting 2 loans. It's one loan. It just comes in 2 halves. Okay, let's see. She alludes to getting more than one as well. Taking advantage of a pandemic situation just so that they don't have to work is abhorrent. So here's what I would like to say to you. You think that this is the only work that we do here on YouTube. You're 100% wrong. This is the smallest part. I have not stopped working. I have stopped creating. There is a huge difference. I read comments. I look at comments. I check my revenue. I check my AdSense. I come up with ideas. I just don't have any passion for creating anymore. And once again, I'm not trying to get angry, but I'm tired of people calling me out on not doing any work when I have uploaded food videos. I've done cooking videos. I think I've done like 10 cooking videos. But it's not good enough for anybody. So you know what? Kiss it. I don't care. Yes, you won. You riled me up. You got the angry side of me out. You made my New York come out. I don't care. I'm really tired because what you've done is you've made these people in the other 50 comments of kind things really, really hate being here. And I will not take that anymore. Oh. Carolina Nestor says, my grandmother died during COVID, and she was like a second parent to me. As I mentioned, I raised my brother from the time he was 9 till he went off to college. He was like the only child I ever had. Besides being my brother, he was like the only child I ever had. And until I moved, we were actually really great friends. We used to go out to eat all the time, and I'd go to his apartments, and I'd help him do like whatever. That's regardless. Regardless. Let's see what she has to say. I only received 3 days of bereavement, not 6 months for a brother I never spoke to in the last several years. What did I do with anything? First of all, I spoke to him plenty. He didn't speak back to me. Let's just say that. And regardless of our relationship over the last several years, which I honestly feel like sometimes I feel like maybe that helped in a way, because had I stayed that close to him, or he was that close to me and then he died, I probably would have really not forgiven myself for way longer than 6 months. But I've never been depressed like this before, so I couldn't tell you how long it was going to last. And regardless, I work for myself. If I need bereavement for 6 months, I'll take bereavement for 6 months. But once again, I worked during those 6 months. I just didn't do the work that you wanted to do and do as much work as you expected me to do. Anyhow, I go on. Let's see. Somewhere we all have the power to power through depression and pain at some level. Address it medically or through therapy and move on. I am. Again, not at your pace. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have an opinion about how I should take time grieving. What kind of medication I take is really none of your business. Who I talk to as far as therapy is concerned, none of your business. I don't have to share that with you. That's a part of my life on this channel. I just don't share. So, again, not your business. And I have been moving forward. It's just at a lot slower pace than anybody expected, including myself. I had a job to keep, and she has no responsibilities. I have no responsibilities. That's good to know. I can't wait to tell Jim. And she shares just fine. She seems just fine keeping it the way so she can sit and do nothing until she runs out of money and makes. I'm not asking for money, but I am videos. First of all, you can kiss my big white fat Irish ass. I never asked for any money from anybody ever. The only time that money ever crossed my lips ever was when I first started my channel, about 6 months or a year after I started my channel. Jim had lost, he had 2 part-time jobs because it was really hard to get a full-time job. He had lost one of his part-time jobs, and all I did was I came on here and said, usually you see 2 or 3 Dollar Tree hauls from me in a week because of my budget allowed $40 a week. Blah, 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 blah. I said, you probably just won't see as many anymore. That's all I did. People came to me in the comments and said, other channels have Patreons. They do GoFundMes, da, 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 da. And I asked everybody, do you guys think I should do this? Do you think? And everybody said no, and I never did it. I don't want any money. People sent me money in the mail. And people would buy me stuff. They would buy me $10 worth of stuff and spend $30 to send it to me. Do you understand that I am a cheap person and that is really hard for me to digest? That is really hard for me to say, hey, don't. Please don't. I have never asked anybody for anything. I've never done a fundraiser. I've never done a GoFundMe page. I've never had a GoFundMe page. I've never had Patreon. I've never had a request for any videos for money. I've never done anything on anybody's behest. So you can suck it. That's fine. You can go right ahead. I don't know. She said, Opal, if they get it. I don't really know. Gammy M says, if they get it. I don't know what she's talking about. She states they already got one, and it sounds like she's going to apply again. I'm not going to apply again. Once again, it's one loan, it's one application, and it's split in half. They give you 2 draws. Look it up. It's really easy. It's free information. Oh, that's awful. Jeri-Ann thinks that's awful. Hip apps. Just watch your husband outline how they plan using the money, including the recent purchase of leather bracelets from Amazon. No, actually, that's not true. But thank you. That's not how he's used his money. I bought the bracelets before he lost his job and before I had PPP money come deposited to my account. Just so you know. Thanks, though. But thanks for asking. Thanks. It is reportable fraud. Go ahead and report me. I have to tell you the truth. I really don't care who reports me. I didn't do anything illegal. It's 100% not, 100% legit what I did. I don't really care if anybody investigates me because nothing's going to come of it other than you wasting time for people, and I don't care. I really don't. You want to report me, report me. They want to come and audit me, they can audit me. I really don't give two knuckles. So, okay. I also appreciate Jim being too proud to take a handout like unemployment, but begging for money from strangers. When did Jim begging money? I'm curious. Taking a loan from the government or being on disability for psychiatric issues is not a handout in his eyes. It's not. You can think what you want. I actually have gotten on my husband and mother-in-law for years. My husband has been dealing with so many issues that they were in denial of when he was a child. And being in the field that I've been in for as long as I've been in, I will tell you, my husband has a lot of issues that he could have definitely gone to seek other assistance for. You think what you want, you say what you want. That's 100% fine with me. You're just not going to write it here. Because if there are people who read this, who are on my channel, who have issues that they're receiving disability for, and you make them feel terrible about themselves, I won't stand for that. That's where I draw the line, including my husband. Let's see. They seem to adjust to their standards based on their bank account. Previously, he refused to see a doctor because nobody could help him in the past, but now they have a free check involved. He has seen the light. Rip-off artists. And then she put a link to something. Oh, to report the COVID-19 fraud. So if you want to know, it is justice.gov, report COVID-19 fraud. So you can go on there and you can report it if you want to. But again, it's legit, so she can do whatever she wants. Let's see. HP apps. Thanks for the link. Definitely will be sending the video recordings of both their channels to this link email before they inevitably take them down. I'm not taking my videos down. I won't take my videos down. I'll take your comments down, but I'm not going to take my videos down. Linda Kramer says, Opal will also be reporting this. So unfair to the people who really need and deserve the PPE loan. Once again, it's not a PPE loan. That's what you should do. Call for fraud and tell them that I fraudulently got a PPE loan and see what they tell you. They need to grow up and stop replying to everyone to take them. I don't know what that means. And stop replying on everyone to take of them. The person I feel so sorry for is Jim's mom. All she wants to do is live in her home. That's a clutter-free. Let's not forget all her complaining. It is her house, not theirs. Okay, Linda. I don't know what you want to tell. I don't know what you want me to say there. So, Linda Clement, you're out as well. But I don't know really what you're talking about. My mother-in-law's space is not cluttered. One of the things we've talked about before, and especially with people with ADD, which I'm sure my mother-in-law is on the spectrum as well as Jim, as well as I am, so I'm not calling anybody out, is your crap is fine, everybody else's stuff is crap. It's the way it is. If you went into our office, you'd probably vomit, because not only is there cigarette ash everywhere, but she just keeps all of her stuff strewn about. She's not organized. She's not clean. She doesn't pick up after herself. She just doesn't want me and my stuff to be in her way. Just like I don't want her stuff to be in my way. Just like I don't want Jim's stuff to be in my way. And just like Jim doesn't want my stuff or mom's stuff to be in his way. Because that's the way people are. George Carlin did a whole bit on how everybody, why is your junk stuff and everybody else's stuff is junk. So, and again, you think my house is cluttered? Go ahead. You think I'm a hoarder? Go ahead. Think I'm a hoarder. I don't care. It really doesn't bother me. Your opinion of me doesn't affect me whatsoever. What it does, though, is affect others who read the comments and follow my channel. And if you make them feel bad, that's where I have a problem. Okay, let's see. That may be the last one. Let's see. Oh, Kathy Thomasay says he works at a barbecue restaurant. That's not stressful. He just can't handle any situation. Well, yeah. So you're saying that, and she's saying that it's not a mental issue. So you can figure that out. My husband has trouble dealing with stressful situations, and heavy workloads are stressful to him because of the way his brain works. And that's his business, not yours. You know, some people get stressed over driving, and then I'm like, why are you stressed out about driving? Some people get stressed about, like, gaining weight. I'm like, why are you stressing about gaining weight? Some people are stressed about taking their medicine or not taking their medicine and going to the doctor and not finding out how they're sick. But everybody stresses over different stuff. What do you care that my husband has stressed about when a lot of people come in the restaurant? Why do you care that my husband is stressed out because he has to remember orders because they're not written down anywhere? What do you care? What do you care? If you don't like to listen to him complain, then don't watch his channel. If you don't like to listen to me stick up for him and defend him, don't watch my channel. I don't really care. It does not affect me whatsoever. The 30 of you not watching my videos is not going to make or break my channel. So go. Be gone. Before somebody drops a house on you. Okay. What do you expect? He sees her not working, immediately says his part-time McJob is too stressful, and says he needs 3 months break. Whoever heard of such entitled lazy nonsense? Right. That's right. Because my husband working 8 hours a day on his feet over a hot pile of food, dealing with rude customers for like minimum wage, just like $9 an hour to support his family or half of his bills, is not stressful. It's not work. And he's lazy. He's lazy 100%. 100% lazy. You guys don't know me outside of what I've shared. And I'm sorry that whatever has happened in your lives makes you so miserable that you have to feel like you have to come on here and just spew your nasty, condescending crap all over me and my family and my channel, for that matter. Okay, so Jim jumped on here to say some stuff. Have you ever worked at a barbecue restaurant? If not, you have no clue how to get it. It's fine. Plus, try to do it with only 1 or 2 workers, and each worker is doing their work. Of 2 of 3 people. Yes, that's true. Sometimes they were well understaffed, and it was famous for it because he would work overtime a lot. No way lazy. Jeri-Ann does what she can. If you're calling us lazy, you must be looking in the mirror and getting jealous of the hard work we put in our lives. James Henson, you keep your mouth shut. Okay. Wow. I have worked a food environment places. I could handle the work, not complain about it. Like I said before, you're an angry little man who talks a lot of crap. So much ignorant and incoherent crap. I would actually be funny if it wasn't so sad. Thank you, Amy. Okay. Kathy called Jim out for using the F word, but you know, I have too, because you guys have really pushed us to that point. So, Let's see. Erin Anderson, I'm actually was kind of surprised because she really does feel like she's always been, well, she's had moments, but really it's always been very civil. I just don't feel like this is civil, Erin, so this might be it for you. Jeri, please re-watch this. I fear that you've lost track of some key factors. It is normal for a grown man. It is not normal for a grown man to keep getting fired, let alone from minimum wage jobs, and then continually saying it's not his fault. Listen to yourself. Normally when he gets let go, yes, Jim has a hard time keeping a job. Jim has a lot of issues. Jim has social issues, and Jim has learning disabilities, and Jim has intellectual issues, but Jim's fantastic at what he does when he works. And does he have problems and things get to him and he's short? But yes. Again, he's improved tremendously from where he was, but he still has far to go. I don't understand. I don't understand this. So I'm just curious what you all expect. Do you think I just sit around and say, oh, honey, it's a great thing that you lost your job again. Let's just stay home and roll in the sheets? No. No, not at all. The timing of everything now has been a game changer. Jim has never lost a job where I haven't encouraged him to go get another job right away. And especially since we've lived here. Every job that he's lost since we've been here, he has been unemployed for the most a week. And he knows the consequences. When you don't stay at a job for years, you don't get vacation pay, and you don't get, benefits. You can't keep quitting jobs and expect to get the 15-year pension, or quitting jobs or getting let go, or whatever it is. That being said, what do you want me to do? Not support him? Give him an ultimatum? Because that works for so many people. No, he's my husband, and I love him. And he has trouble, I have trouble. I help him the way I can help him. He helps me in the way he can help me. We are fine. And when I tell you that, I mean it. I'm not fooling myself. I'm not fooling him. He's not fooling me. We love each other and we support each other in the best way we can. Does it frustrate us sometimes? Sure, of course. You can't be married to somebody for 20 years. You can't live with somebody for 20 years or 21 years and not get frustrated by them from time to time. Give me a break. You're lying if you say you're not. And I don't say all the time, and I'm not saying frustrated mostly, but from time to time, if you don't get frustrated with the people who you live with, then I don't know, maybe you're special. I guess you're special. Let's see. Jeri-Ann, there's nothing normal about getting let go from a part-time job. Not to you. Normal is just sitting on the washing machine. It's very normal for Jim. It's been his story his whole life. And it's not always part-time jobs. A lot of times they're full-time jobs. Regardless, that's not neither here nor there. Again, his business. Let's see. There's nothing normal about getting... Do you realize how low the bar is? Why do I have to have a bar at all? Why do I have to have expectations? I expect my husband to be faithful to me and to love me like I love him. I never agreed that he should be the breadwinner. I never agreed that he should be working 2 full-time jobs, part-time jobs, whatever. We just have always done what we needed to do. Yeah, why do I have to keep the bar high? What am I looking for? He takes advantage of you by saying he is overworked. Not really sure. The guy hasn't worked 40 hours a week for years. Actually, we talked about this before. When he got let go of Casey's just like 10 or 11 months ago, he was working 45 hours a week. So, but thank you for paying attention, I guess. How can he be overworked? Come on. Well, first of all, he actually works over 40 hours a week. He was working over 40 hours a week the last 3 months he worked at Dickies. And then coming home and me dealing with the depression and not being able to pull even the weight that I pulled like 8 months ago. Like I wasn't able to pull my weight before my brother died. I was able to do a lot more than I have been. Being depressed has definitely affected me physically. Menopause has also affected me physically, which basically started right before the pandemic. Not being able to go out and exercise as much before for like the first 6 months of the pandemic has affected me physically. I'm building my stamina back up again. I'm doing the things that I can do every day. But yeah, he was overworked. He was working 40 hours there, coming home, taking care of things that I would normally take care of. He was being a very supportive husband. And I'm blessed to have him. And you guys have your own opinion. You can have your own opinion. A lot of people do. But you know what? Opinions are like rear ends. Everybody's got one, and everybody thinks everybody else thinks worse than theirs. Okay, I believe in the same God as you. I didn't know. I don't know you know what you're talking about, but okay. You say maybe God has a plan. Yes, that plan is you can't be a man who is almost 50 disparaging coworkers on social media. Well, no, actually, that's not it at all. What you shouldn't be is coworkers that need to be disparaged on social media. I want to say something because Jim does have a lot of problems. Jim does have a lot of problems. He has a lot of patience issues. But my husband is a hell of a hard worker. And I will not be able to go to one boss he's ever had who will argue that fact. Every boss he's ever had was like, he's the hardest worker. I hate to let him go. It is the fact that he cannot deal with the other people who don't work with him. And the fact that he doesn't have the education or the patience or the whatever it is to deal with a different job other than working these minimum wage jobs has affected everything. Too much talking and not enough water. Has affected him. Has affected his whole life. That being said, it is what it is. He is who he is. And I have to tell you guys something, because obviously you people don't have any idea about the world outside of your own little circle. But I knew more than my fair share of people who only could keep part-time jobs. In fact, I have a handful of people that I could tell you don't even have a job in years. I'm just saying, maybe you should open your circle up a little bit. You meet other people that aren't you, and that aren't you and your husband who has a full-time job and has been working for 30 years, whatever. Okay. Okay. I'm a huge fan of stimulus money and PPP. However, please don't openly admit your family is using so individuals, both you and your husband, choose not to work, go on sabbatical. I did not say that. I mentioned before about my payroll. Again, my payroll is not the PPP money. The PPP money goes to the business. The business then goes distributed to rent and my payroll, because I'm the employee. I'm the single employee business owner. I could do it with my payroll as I wish. I could do it with my paycheck as I wish. So just because we may have skipped a step in the story, just understand that now. And I'm not using this money so my husband can go on sabbatical. You guys are twisting all of this up into whatever you're listening to. I'm not 100% sure. I said to my husband, before I knew about the PPP money, or when I first found out about the PPP money, or when I heard that it might be a possibility, that's really when it was. Before I applied, but I heard it could be a possibility. I said, I really do wish that we could get enough money from X, Y, and Z for you to take some time off, like to take a sabbatical, because we want to redo our room, including pulling up the carpets, including removing the furniture, including rearranging, and then we wanted to do the same thing in here, including moving furniture and pulling up the carpets and possibly laying down new floors, and the guest room as well, to rearrange the furniture. Like, we have all this work due around the house, and it's for the channel. It's going to come up on the channel as well. I just wished he could take off time so he can do that without stressing himself out, without overworking himself or hurting himself, because he's on his feet for 40 hours a week. Yeah, 40 hours a week, sometimes 45. I can show you paychecks where he's had overtime, but none of your business. For 40 plus hours a week at his job, and then to come home on the weekends or his days off and try to do all of this work around the house. So I did. I said, I wish we could afford for you to just take some time off. Honestly, if he had a job that paid him a living wage and or gave him full-time hours on a regular basis, what they like to do at different jobs, and I don't know if you guys know this scheme, is that they work you full-time hours, but they call you a part-time employee. So what they do is they give you like 3 weeks of full-time hours and then 1 week of part-time hours. This way they can keep you as a part-time employee. And they don't have to give you the benefits of a full-time employee. So instead of you getting mad at businesses for keeping my husband as part-time employee, you get mad at him for not having a full-time job. But whatever, I will, regardless. If he had a full-time job that gave him a week's vacation pay, then he could take a week off and we could do something. We don't have to worry about money. That's all I said. So I said that to him when I first found out about the PPP money. Not that I was getting it, but that we were eligible to now apply for it. The fact that he lost his job at the exact moment when we got it is where I feel like it was God's divine intervention. I'm choosing to look at it that way. I'm choosing to look at it that way because that's the way I choose to look at it. Could I cry over the situation? Could I be upset? Could I be mad? I could do all those things. I could be frustrated. I could be infuriating. I could be blah, blah, blah. But I choose to look at it like maybe it's God's plan. Maybe it's a message. Maybe it's the time we need to get the things done that we need to get done. Okay? So all of this needs to be understood by everybody. The money is to help people and businesses affected by COVID-19, not to support people who choose not to work. Once again, one more time. I am working. I'm not working as much as I was, and I'm not working the way you want me to. That's fine, but I am working. I am affected. My life has been affected by COVID-19. So is my job. My job's one and only employee has fallen into a depression because her brother died from COVID-19. That's directly affected. You know, if I actually, God forbid, knock on wood, actually got COVID-19 myself, you guys would just blame me. You just blame everything on me anyway. I mean, you're just looking for something to like point at, and it's fine. But I'm going to remove it from my channel because there are people out there who don't understand that it's fine. It doesn't affect me, but it affects them, and that's where it's got to go. And when you start to affect my husband, I have a problem. Say what you want about me, but don't say anything about my family. People went on to talk on Erin's comments about they agree, and thanks for brave enough to post this. Opal says they are both even overt enough to say they are taking money not owed to them because they both truly believe it's money they should be able to take. It's disgusting. Again, your opinion, whatever. I can't keep going on and on. And then Carolina Nestor says, don't let her off the hook so easily. There is no way she doesn't watch his channel. No, I don't watch his channel. Sorry. She knew fully well all of the BS he was spewing about his job. Do you honestly think Jim could apply for the PPE? Jim did not apply for a PPE loan. There is no such thing as a PPE loan, or maybe there is, but it's not this. This is a PPP loan. Jim didn't apply for it. I did. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. He wouldn't know where to begin. First of all, he would, because I'm his wife, and I would support him. But thank you, though. Jim doesn't qualify for the PPP loan because he hasn't been making money on YouTube long enough. Thank you, though. He doesn't take 2 steps without Jeri cutting in to give him his next ones. This was all her idea without a doubt. She wants to wallow in her hoard house, and now she got her way by having Jim home while taking free money that should never have been given to them. That's Carolina Nestor. So Carolina Nestor, I think this is the last one. I just wanted to double check real quick. Let me just double check really quick. Oh no, AFM came on. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to read. I didn't read this comment yet because it's new. It's in like the last. Let's see. These are times. There's people. Okay. COVID has brought out the best and worst in people. These are the times you see people's true colors. I too have lost a close loved one during the pandemic. I'm dealing with menopause, yet have continued to work, go to the store, clean my house, etc. I never used my grief and physical limitations as a reason not to carry on. Instead, I have honored my loved ones by caring for others in the home and living life in such a way that my loved ones would be proud. I do this with God's strength. God helps those who help themselves, not by taking advantage of others' good hearts. Perhaps if you concentrated on blessing others rather than constantly holding out an empty cup, asking others to fill it would actually help to bring you out of the depths of your depression rather than staying stagnant. God is calling all Christians to rise up to the occasion and rely on your faith to become better and stronger people. There is a time to weep, but there is also a time to be good steward of the life God has given you. I pray you have faith to claim the faith you claim to have and reflect on how you have been living your lives. You have been misusing your platform to take rather than bless others. Your content reflects gluttony and blatant attempts to pull at the heartstrings of truly good people in order to support your emotionally unhealthy lifestyle. Please refrain from using your platform, God, or the pandemic as a means of personal gain. You both should be ashamed. I pray you both will reflect and change in order to live your lives best, with which you will find the true peace and happiness you crave. This will fill the empty cups you are looking to fill. God bless. And that was from McKenna McIntyre. McKenna, I don't recognize your name as a person who has commented before. I don't understand. So Amy Summer comes on and says, about time someone finally called out her on her a la carte Christianity. Only picks and chooses what fits her narrative and manipulates the meaning of the word to feel better about the mess she's made of her life. That's good to know. Jim says we each have a way of dealing with our own lives. It is God-given the right of freedom to choose. It took nearly 11 years to get myself right enough to deal with things. By try writing a coherent comment. See, they can't even be nice about how he talks, which is just messed up. I'm really offended by that. I'm sorry. McKenna McIntyre and Amy Summer, I'm extremely offended by what you said. First of all, I don't know your situation, McKenna. I really don't. That being said, I have had a lot of grief in my life and depression that I've just gone right on to back to work and lived my full life. This is something that I'm dealing with now that I've never dealt with before. I don't know why anybody thinks that somebody would want to be in this. I don't understand why. I don't understand what in my December 2016 to September 11th, 2020 YouTube channel of Daily Plus videos makes everybody think I don't want to do this anymore. What the hell is wrong with you people? Why do you think I want to be depressed? Do you think I want to not work? I worked every day to create this channel. What is wrong with you? Why would you think I would make this up? What would I gain? A financial woe? Hardship? Depression? Like, who wants this? What is wrong with you people? And you can question my faith all you want. I don't have to answer to you. And you said somebody said we believe in the same God. You don't know what God I believe in. We all believe in something different. I was raised Catholic. I had questions. I have made my own way. I don't believe in the word. I think the word has got too many contradictions. I pick and choose. If I want to just read the red letters, that's my choice. That's my choice. I want to pick and choose. You think I just want to pick and choose? What about everybody else? What about the whole conservative half of the United States? They only want to pick the homosexuality, negative homosexuality things out of the Bible. They don't want to pick all the rest of the laws. Because you want to pick and choose. Everybody wants to pick and choose. I am really sick right now. I'm really sick and I'm very freaking tired. I literally posted a video almost every day for 4 years. 3 years and 10 months. 3 years and 9 months. Just say I didn't post every day that first month. For 3 years and 9 months, I posted a video every day, and then including the last year and a half where I also added videos on my vlog channel. And you all have the audacity to sit there and think that I don't want to work anymore, and I'm using my depression as an excuse or my limited mobility as an excuse. Shame on you. Shame on you. There is nothing in my reputation, on my channel, either one of them, that even backs that up the slightest. And you can all just go. Just leave. You don't need to be here. I don't need this in my life now. What I have noticed is that when somebody starts hateful comments, they don't stop. People feed into hate. Stop feeding into hate. If you don't understand something, and if you truly have a question for me or truly have a piece of advice for me, direct message me. If you call me out on this public platform, it's because you're a freaking coward who sits behind a keyboard and thinks they can tell others how to live their life. You righteous pieces of turd. And as always, you take care. God bless. Look in the mirror. Figure out what's wrong, what's going on inside of you. Please watch this. Listen to me. Do your own research.
please, please, I beg of you, don't do this to anybody else. I have been fat and overweight and like this my whole life. People have picked on me since I'm a child. And I can take it. But there are people out there who cannot. And they should not have to. Because I put my life on social media, you think you're entitled to your opinion, you're entitled to your opinion. Do I have to listen to you? No. Are you allowed to judge me? Yes. Should you? No. Nobody here has walked a mile in anybody else's shoes. We may have similar situations, and that's one of the things that draws us to each other, but we have not walked a mile in each other's shoes. Everybody has their own experience. Everybody deals with things in their own way. I'm sorry I said something. I'm sorry I said something. I'm not deleting my video. Jim's not deleting it, unless he deleted it already. I don't know. I don't care what he does with his channel. But I'm not deleting my video. I'm just going to delete these negative comments. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time.